Well, there's not a lot of people in the Deut right now, but come tomorrow at 6 p.m., this place should be rocking. And one of those people that will be here and who is essential in making this game happen, Jason Knavel, Assistant Athletic Director, one of the main guys behind all this. Now, let me take you back to a few years ago. It was 2015. Yeah. BG plays Maryland on the road. So this is the second part of a home and home. Now, how did that come about?
Well, that's a contract that was signed a while ago by a couple of ADs ago, and it's actually a 2-for-1. So we have a game with Maryland coming up in a couple years to complete out that contract. So it's really a three-game series, 2 at Maryland, 1 here.
So for those who don't know, Oregon week 1, Maryland week 2, and then a little bit later in the year, Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
3 Power 5 schools all in 1 year.
Yeah.
I mean, how did they pull that off? Bear in mind, last year was Michigan State, but no other Power 5. Ohio State a couple of years ago, no other Power 5s. How did we put together 3 in 1 year?
Yeah. Well, I don't know that it's necessarily the ideal situation. I think in general, we're looking at 2 Power 5 schools on a regular basis within the non-conference schedule. But the way this one worked out, being a 2-for-1 situation, this was the year to get Maryland on the schedule here at home. We're excited about it. It's fun. As Coach would tell you, it's a tremendous opportunity for the program to get on a national stage and provide them with some chances to pull off a big win.
Now, usually, I mentioned Michigan State, I mentioned Ohio State, Oregon, Georgia Tech. Those are all road games. We finally have a Big Ten opponent here, first time since Indiana.
Yep.
The student body normally gets to see, Toledo's always a big game, and, they play a lot of schools in the MAC as far as at home. Kind of tell the students how and why this is so much. I mean, this is a big game, and why should they come out and support the Falcons during this big game?
Yeah, it is a huge game. Last time we played a Big Ten program here in the Deut was 2014 with Indiana, and we pulled off a win on a late Roger Lewis touchdown, who's playing in the NFL now. And, we'll see what happens tomorrow against Maryland. But the reality is this is the last game we have scheduled at home with a Big Ten program for the foreseeable future. So from that standpoint, this is gigantic because you've got to get out to see this game. Maryland's coming off a huge win over Texas. They look like a team that could be a top 25 program. So we've got that caliber of competition coming in here. I know the team needs the student support behind them. We're sitting right here next to the student section. This place needs to be rocking because, trust me, the team notices it, they feel it, they thrive on that kind of energy in this place.
Not to mention, we are in the brand new student section. If you're coming out to the game, we are no longer on the other side. We're in the east end this year. And in addition to that, I don't need to tell you how important recruiting is in football. And it's a lot harder versus a Big Ten team for a MAC school. When coaches are going out and recruiting, is this one of the main focal points as far as, hey, we're not just playing MAC schools, we're playing Georgia Tech, we're playing Ohio State, we're playing Michigan State, we're playing Maryland at the Deut?
Yeah, there's no doubt. When you get to go out and recruit and you get to tell kids, you're going to get to play in Autzen Stadium against Oregon, you're going to get to play at Ohio State, you're going to get to play at UCLA we've got coming up, at Arizona State, at Michigan State. You can tell them, yeah, we're a MAC school, but you're going to get the opportunity to prove yourself on national television against top 25 programs.
Now, it's been a little bit of a rough patch the last couple of years. Obviously, I don't have to tell you, 2013, 2015 MAC champs, and then it's been a little downhill since then. But after, I'm sure you saw last week against Oregon, they put up a pretty darn good fight. But maybe sometimes the attendance doesn't reflect that when we play at home. So why should the fans be excited about the 2018 version of the BGSU Falcons?
Well, yeah, and you mentioned 2013, 2015 MAC champs, and I was around for those teams, and those teams were a whole lot of fun. 2 coaching changes in 3 years here because of the success of this program, and those coaches have gone on to other schools. But when you have that kind of coaching turnover, sometimes it takes a little bit of time. You get lost recruiting classes. You have some issues just staying at that level. Well, this program's back now on the rise. We're in year 3 under Coach Mike Jinks, and the program's had back-to-back recruiting classes ranked among the top 3 in the MAC. So they're bringing in elite level talent, and this is a program to get behind, because this is year 1 of what I believe is going to be a huge upswing as we work to return to the MAC championship.
You heard it here first from the man himself, Jason Knavel, 6 p.m. tomorrow at the Doit versus Maryland. Don't miss it.